the Uncharted movie. Why was I expecting more? You know, we've been accustomed as video game fans to expect the adaptation of any games to fall short, and this movie certainly falls short. I mean, it does try to give fan service, I'll give it that. And it does, you'll recognise some of the set pieces in the film straight from the game, for example. So as you can see watching these side by sides, they do literally take the scene from Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception and put it into the movie. And it's good, you know, it's instantly recognisable. Like here in the auction, they make the characters wear the same tuxedos. They replicate the entire auction scene from Uncharted 4 the best way they can. There's a lot of fan service in the presentation of this movie, from how Drake is dressing to the set pieces themselves, which have taken directly from the game. So on that aspect, the movie does a really good job. However, these set pieces, they work in a video game because it's a video game. But when you put these set pieces into a movie, it's very difficult to suspend your disbelief when you're watching it in a passive experience comparatively to a video game where you're playing it yourself. So again, the fan service is there and it's appreciated. But if we strip away the fan service for a second, this movie, all it really has going for it is that it's called Uncharted, right? Because if we look at this movie as an adventure movie, which is meant to be fun, I understand this is a popcorn movie. This is a movie designed for families who want to go out and have a nice time. And in that respect, it succeeds somewhat, right? I took my two sons to see this movie. They absolutely loved it. They thought it was great. But when I'm looking at this movie, I'm just seeing the same movie I've seen many other times with different names. Movies which are better than this. National Treasure is better than this. Any Indiana Jones movie is better than this. Even Jungle Cruise was better than this. A movie, an adventure movie, all around finding treasure and stuff like that. And you know, the Uncharted series has always been about problem solving, puzzles, elaborate, intricate sort of puzzles, which are fun to solve. And this movie doesn't even do a good job in really bringing that aspect of the series to life. Now, maybe they were trying to appeal to a younger audience, but the puzzle sections of this movie were very oversimplified. They did not do justice to the game. Now, the game was never complicated, but the puzzles, they inspired your imagination. You wondered what was going to happen next. They were intricate in their designs. Here, it falls short massively. Now, I need to talk about the chemistry and the acting between Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, Sully and Nathan Drake, respectively. The actors are fine, but they don't fit the roles they're in. Now, Nathan Drake and Sully, they have great chemistry inside the Uncharted series. That chemistry is not brought to fruition here. We have chemistry from Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. We have chemistry between the actors, but what we're lacking is that same chemistry from Nathan Drake and Sully that we saw in the games. Now, maybe I shouldn't be comparing them directly this way because this is an adaptation, right? But I have to, because that again is a major part of the series. They don't have that. For some reason, they went with a younger Nathan Drake, so we have a younger Sully as well. But Mark Wahlberg really doesn't look anything like Sully. He really doesn't act anything like Sully. In fact, you could argue he would play a much better Nathan Drake than he ever would as Sully. Tom Holland as well, great actor. He, great in Spider-Man. I'm not disputing his acting skill. However, he just doesn't land as Nathan Drake for me. Here he's more naive, which is probably by design, right? Because he's a younger Nathan Drake, but he just doesn't have that same quick-witted charisma that Nathan Drake has. Now, there was actually a movie made in 2018, a fan movie, which had some really good actors in it, and that movie managed to capture the essence of Uncharted far better than this movie ever could. I'm going to put the link in the description, but I'm going to show you a short clip, just so you can sort of maybe understand where I'm coming from. The actor, Nathan Fallon, really does a good job as Nathan Drake.
Keep those guys busy a little longer.
Easy for you to say. You're not about to get your finger removed from some fella named El Tigre.
I'm not sure that's the body part they're thinking of removing.
Oh, that's El Tigre? Thank God. Guys, whew. Seriously, you guys, you got me. You got me. I was well presented. I was scared. Hey there, little guy. What do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, crap.
That right there, That is Uncharted. The creators of this, they understood the essence of Uncharted and they knew how to replicate it and give respect to the source material. Nathan Fillion is perfect to play Nathan Drake. It's that sense of humour Nathan Drake has, even in the most dire of situations, which makes him such a lovable character. He always finds a way to make humour where there really shouldn't be any and laugh at himself and the situation that he's found himself in. He's always self-aware. He'll look around and like, how have I ended up in this predicament? And as the gamer, as the person experiencing what is happening through Nathan's eyes, you cannot help but smile at some of the stuff that happens. And this movie just falls short. To summarise, this movie just tried to play it safe, and by doing so, it created a movie which is very forgettable. You know, the villains, the bad people in this movie, they're just bad to be bad people. Everything is black and white. There's no shades of grey. There's no depth or complexity to anything going on. It's a simple popcorn movie. You've seen this movie before. You've seen it done better. What I will say, just to add, the camera panning really pissed me off. This is one of those movies where a fight scene will have 25 to 35 to 100 different camera angles. You know, Nathan throws a punch, you've got 5 different camera angles covering that one punch in real time, and it can be very jarring. If Nathan Drake wants to jump from one platform to the other, you've got 5 different camera pans for that. You know, the movie does try and add in some free running, which again is another major component of what makes Uncharted Uncharted. And they do a fairly good job of that. You know, Tom Holland is clearly very athletic. He does a very good job jumping around, jumping across rooftops and all of that. So I do appreciate they try to incorporate that into the movie. But is this movie worth buying a ticket for? I don't think it is. I think this is a perfect movie to watch on Netflix, to watch on Amazon Prime. Watch Uncharted as part of a subscription service that you're already paying for. Go out and pay for it. It's hard to recommend. Unless you're going with your children and you just want a family day out, that's fine. But I would argue maybe go see Spider-Man instead. You're getting much more value for money that way. So overall, is this a good adventure movie? It's okay. It's passable. But there's just far greater movies of this type. Movies which are more compelling, have more intrigue and mystery. Movies which just capture the imagination more. Is this a good Uncharted movie? Not really. They took liberties they didn't need to take, changed things they didn't really need to change. They failed to capture the essence of Uncharted and project it onto the big screen. If there's any game franchise which can make it on the big screen, it's Uncharted. But they failed to do so in any real meaningful way. With that being said, I will give Uncharted a 2 out of 5. And I think I'm being generous there, and I give it a 2 out of 5 because it's not a bad movie. It's just not a good movie either. It doesn't do anything which is going to make you remember it. No one's ever going to recall on the Uncharted movie and say it was great, or list it in any top 5, top 10, or top 100 for that matter. It's a forgettable experience which has the Uncharted name. That's it. So I am your bearded nerd. This was my review of Uncharted. If you like what you saw, please do not hesitate to subscribe to my channel. Every subscription helps the channel more than you know. Until next time, have a good one.